when I was in seminary, I had a friend who was weirdly obsessed with movies about earthquakes. Now, I don't mean big budget blockbusters like San Andreas or Escape from LA. We're talking low budget B films, straight to DVD stuff, but still centered on earthquakes. It seemed like every time he came to the apartment, he had a new movie that he wanted me to see. I don't know why they fascinated him so much. Right? What certainly wasn't the acting or the special effects. They were terrible. And I guess it really was the earthquakes. Then again, as the saying goes, I'm not from around here. I've felt some minor tremors here and there since I've lived in Los Angeles, but nothing that memorable. I never asked. Maybe he grew up in Northridge in the 90s or the Bay Area in the late 80s. I mean, whatever it is, he was hooked. I should have asked him what he thought of Revelation 16. Right? Fascination or not, I don't imagine he'd want to be around for what we read there. Verses 18 and 19, John tells us, then there came flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, and a severe earthquake. No earthquake like it has ever occurred since mankind has been on the earth. So tremendous was the quake. The great city split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations collapsed. God remembered Babylon the Great and gave her the cup filled with the wine of the fury of his wrath. That's the earthquake. John relates its effects, and then he tells us something peculiar, that God remembered Babylon. Usually in the Bible, God's remembrance is a good thing. In Genesis 8, after the flood, we're told, but God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark. And he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. Now the springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens had been closed, and the rain had stopped falling from the sky. God's remembrance preserved Noah and his family. In Exodus 2, we're told during that long period, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out, and their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. In those examples, God's remembrance is usually tied to a covenant promise, leading to some action to rescue his people. In Revelation 16:19, we're told that God remembered Babylon, but not for their deliverance. Rather, the opposite. God remembers his commitment to bring Babylon's destruction. Now, I find it interesting that God's remembrance is mentioned after the earthquake, which means that the earthquake is the action that God took in light of his remembrance, or the other option, the worst earthquake in history of the world, wasn't enough. Verses 20 and 21 continue. Every island fled away, and the mountains could not be found. From the sky, huge hailstones, each weighing about 100 pounds, fell on people. And they cursed God on account of the plague of hail, because the plague was so terrible. It might be interesting to ask questions about fleeing islands and disappearing mountains, but we've got bigger fish to fry. Like, which Babylon are we talking about here? It's referred to as the great city. But last time we were introduced to the great city in Revelation, that was back in chapter 11. This was where the 2 prophets were said to be killed, in the city which is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, where also their Lord was crucified. Sodom was destroyed. Egypt is still kicking, but the place where our Lord was crucified is Jerusalem. What city is he talking about? You have to join us next time. Have a great week.